वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. Welcome, dear listeners, to this podcast where we go on a journey not through space, not through time, but inward, deep inward, into the very first words ever written in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. I'm your host, and today we are exploring the Mool Mantar and the sacred symbol Onkar. The opening of Sri Japji Sahib, composed by Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the founder of the Sikh faith. Before we begin, I want to set some context. Sri Japji Sahib is the very first Bani, the first sacred composition in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, our eternal living Guru. It appears on the very first page and runs through page 8 of the Granth. It was composed by Guru Nanak Dev Ji himself. The word Jap means to recite, to chant, or to keep your attention focused on. Ji and Sahib are both words of deep respect. So Japji Sahib is a revered recitation, a morning prayer that Sikhs around the world recite every single day before sunrise. Now, Sri Japji Sahib consists of the Mool Mantar, an opening shlok, 38 bodies or hymns, and a closing shlok. Today, we are focused entirely on the Mool Mantar, the root verse, and the very first two words, Onkar. There is a beautiful saying in the Sikh tradition. The entire Guru Granth Sahib is an elaboration of the Mool Mantar. The Mool Mantar is an elaboration of Onkar, and Onkar is the elaboration of the numeral 1. So we are beginning at the very source, the very seed. Let us begin. First, let us read the Mool Mantar in its entirety. I will read it in Gurmukhi, then give you the full English meaning. After that, we will go word by word. Ek Onkar Satnam Karta Purakh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murth Ajoni Saibhang Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach है भी सच नानक होसी भी सच. One universal creator God. Truth is a name. Creative being personified. No fear, no hatred. Image of the undying. Beyond birth. Self-existent. By the Guru's grace. Meditate. True in the primal beginning. True throughout the ages. True here and now. O Nanak, forever and ever true. These are not just words, dear listeners. These are 9 doorways to understanding the divine. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is said to have spoken these words upon emerging from his enlightenment experience. After 3 days submerged in the Vein River in meditation, the very first words he spoke were these. Let that sink in. After experiencing God directly, the very first thing Guru Nanak said was this Mool Mantar. Now let us go word by word, door by door. Ik Onkar. The Mool Mantar does not begin with a word. It begins with a symbol. A symbol that combines the Punjabi numeral for 1 with the first letter of the Gurmukhi alphabet called Ura, joined together in one flowing visual form. This symbol is called Ik Onkar, and you will find it above the entrance of every Gurudwara in the world. Let us break it down. Ik. This is not the word ik meaning 1. This is the numeral 1, the actual digit. Guru Nanak deliberately used the number, not the word, because the number 1 is absolute. It cannot be mistranslated. In Sanskrit, one might say Ika, in Persian, Yak, in Arabic, Wahid. Different languages, different possibilities for interpretation. But the figure 1, that is universal, undeniable. Guru Nanak wanted to establish, beyond any shadow of doubt, there is one and only one supreme reality, not 2, not 3, not thousands. 1. Omkar. This word comes from the ancient Sanskrit sacred syllable Om or Om, the primordial sound, the unstruck note from which all of creation vibrates. But Guru Nanak transformed it. He didn't just write Om, he placed the numeral 1 before it. Why? Because in many traditions, Om could be used to invoke multiple deities or forms of energy. Guru Nanak was saying, no, there is one creator, one undivided, indivisible source, who expresses himself through all of creation while remaining one. The word On combines O, the divine, and An, everything, all of existence. Kar means creator or the one who is. So Omkar means the creator who is present in everything, who is everything. So Ik Omkar together means there is one creator who permeates and is all of creation. Now here is something beautiful. The symbol Ik Omkar is written as one continuous flowing form. The number 1 flows into the Ura, which flows into the special arc called Hora. It cannot be written in separate strokes without interruption. This is by design. It represents that the one and the all are inseparable, just as the symbol itself cannot be divided. Think of it this way: an ocean and its waves. The waves are different in shape, in size, in height, but they are all ocean. Remove the ocean, the waves disappear. The waves are not separate from the ocean. They are the ocean in motion. This is the teaching of Onkar. You, me, the stars, the mountains, the atoms, all are expressions of the One. Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the fifth Guru, says it beautifully in the Guru Granth Sahib. By itself, the One is just one and only one. And the One is the source of all creation. And there is one more revolutionary dimension to Ik Omkar. In 15th century India, society was fractured by caste, by religion, by creed. Brahmins worshipped Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Different communities had different gods. Guru Nanak held up one finger and said, "There is only one. Your God and my God are the same God. Your caste does not matter. Your religion's label does not matter. We all come from the same source." This was not theology. It was radical equality. Let's move to the other part. Sat Naam. Sat from Sanskrit means Satya, truth, eternal, unchanging, absolute truth, not relative truth, not my truth versus your truth. Sat is that which is always true, in the past, in the present, and in the future. Naam means name. But in Sikh philosophy, Naam is far deeper than a label. Naam is the vibration, the identity, the living essence of the divine reality. Naam is how the infinite makes itself accessible to the finite human mind. Together, Sat Naam declares the name, the very identity, the essential nature of God is truth. This is remarkable. Guru Nanak is not saying God's name is Vaheguru or Allah or Ram. Although all these names are used in the Guru Granth Sahib with love and reverence, he is saying the nature of God is truth itself. God does not just speak truth, God is truth. And what follows from this? If God is truth, then the path to God is through truth. To live in truth, to speak truth, to act with integrity, this is the path of Naam. So Sat Naam is both a description of God and a prescription for how to live. The Mool Mantar also tells us that this truth is not reached by human effort alone. It is received through grace, through Gur Prasad, which we will come to shortly. But first, the next word reveals something astonishing. Karta Purakh. Karta means the creator, the one who creates, who does, who causes all things to happen. God is not a passive, distant watchmaker who wound up the universe and walked away. Karta means God is actively involved in every moment of creation, the cause of all causes, the effect of all effects. Purakh. This word is often translated as being or person, but its root is profound. It comes from Sanskrit. Puri shaite iti purushaha, meaning that which is present everywhere, that which fills everything, not a man, not a masculine figure, but an all-pervading presence that fills every atom, every corner of existence. So Karta Purakh together, the Creator who actively creates and sustains all things, and who is simultaneously present in everything that has been created. Do you see the depth here? God is both the artist and the painting, the singer and the song, the ocean and every wave. Guru Nanak refuses to place God outside of creation. God is creation, and yet God is beyond it. This is what scholars call Vashisht Advaitism, a non-dualism with distinction, neither pure formless alone, nor purely with form alone, both simultaneously the same one. Nirbhau and Nirvair. These two words are placed together and they belong together. They are two wings of the same truth. Nirbhau, Nir is a prefix meaning without or beyond. Bhav or bhai means fear. So Nirbhau means without fear, fearless. But why is God fearless? Because fear arises when there is someone or something more powerful than you. Fear arises when you have an enemy, when you have something to lose. God is the only one who exists. There is no one beside God, no one above God. When you are everything, what can you possibly fear? And this quality of the divine is meant to become our quality too. One of the key teachings of Japji Sahib is that by meditating on God's attributes, we begin to embody those attributes. A person who lives in Naam, who is connected to this one truth, begins to shed fear, fear of death, fear of failure, fear of the other, because they know we all come from the same source, and to that source we return. Nirvair, Nir again without. Vair means enmity, hatred, malice, grudge. So Nirvair means without enmity, without hatred. And why is God without hatred? Same reason. When you are everything, when every being is an expression of you, how can you hate any part of yourself? A mother does not hate her own children, even when they err. God, as the source of all, holds no grudge, no malice toward any part of creation. Again, this is a teaching for us. Nirvair is an invitation. When we see God in all beings, in the friend, and the enemy, in the saint and the sinner, hatred becomes impossible. This is the foundation of the Sikh principle of equality. Sarbat da bhala, the welfare of all. Together, Nirbhau Nirvair says, the divine is fearless and free from all enmity, and the implicit call is, so must we be. Akal Murat. Akal negates. Kal means time, and it also means death. So Akal means beyond time, beyond death, timeless, immortal, eternal. Murat means form, image, existence. It comes from Sanskrit and means that which exists. Together, Akal Murat means the being who exists beyond the limits of time, an eternal form, an undying reality. Now, this is philosophically beautiful and paradoxical. Murat suggests form, and yet Akal suggests beyond time, form and yet timeless. This is the tension at the heart of Sikh theology. God is not nothingness. God is. God exists. God has presence. And yet God is beyond the time, beyond the time-bound world we know of. Time means change. We know time passes because things change around us. The sun rises and sets. We grow old. Seasons turn. But God does not change. For God, nothing is new and nothing is gone. Everything is eternally present. The past, present, and future are simultaneously known to and within God. God is forever. For Him, nothing is changing. Everything is static. Change is the experience of eyes that do not see things in their full perspective. And this matters for us. We are so caught up in the anxiety of time, deadlines, aging, loss. Akal Murat reminds us that true reality does not end. That which is connected to the eternal has nothing to fear from time. Ajuni and Saibhang. Ajuni means negates. Juni or June means womb, specifically the cycle of birth, life, and death. Ajuni therefore means not born, beyond the cycle of birth and death. This is a direct statement that distinguishes Sikh theology from traditions where God takes birth in human form. In Sikhism, the divine does not enter the cycle of reincarnation. God does not need to be born, and God does not die. All birth and death happen within God. God is the container, not the contained. Saibhang. Sai means self. Bhang means existing, illumined, radiant. Saibhang means self-existent, self-illumined, existing by one's own power. Everything in creation depends on something else. Humans need food, water, air, parents who came before. The sun depends on nuclear reactions. Every effect has a cause, but God has no cause. God is the first cause, the uncaused cause. God exists because of God's own nature, completely independent, completely self-sustaining. Ajuni and Saibang together paint a portrait of ultimate sovereignty. God is not created by anyone. God does not enter birth. God does not depend on anything. God simply is, from eternity to eternity, by God's own power, in God's own fullness. This is humbling for us. Everything about us is dependent. We depend on air to breathe, on others who loved us, on the earth that holds us. And yet we come from and we belong to this one self-existent reality. That is a miracle. Gur Prasad. We have arrived at the final phase of the Mool Mantar, and it may be the most important of all. Gur means Guru, Master, Enlightener, the one who dispels darkness and brings light. In Sanskrit, Gu means darkness and Ru means that which removes it. The Guru is the one who illuminates. Prasad means grace, blessings, gift freely given, Kripa. Prasad is what is offered after prayer in a Gurudwara, the sweet sacred food shared with all. It is grace that is not earned but freely bestowed. Together, Gur Prasad means by the grace of the Enlightener, realized through the Guru's blessings. After listing all these magnificent attributes of God, one, truth, creator, fearless, without enmity, timeless, unborn, self-existent, Guru Nanak ends with this. God is realized through grace, not through caste, not through rituals, not through pilgrimages, not through clever arguments, through grace and grace alone. This is radical. In an age when religious access was controlled by priests and gatekeepers, Guru Nanak declared that God's grace is available to all. The lowest of the low, the poorest of the poor, the most forgotten of humanity. Grace does not require you to be rich, powerful, or educated. It requires only sincerity, humility, and an open heart. And who is the Guru here? For Sikhs, the Guru is ultimately God Himself, the inner enlightener. The human Gurus were channels of this divine light. And today, that light lives in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. When we bow before the Granth, we bow to the living Guru, the living Word, Shabad. Gur Prasad is the key. It is the lock opener. It ends the Mool Mantar with an invitation. You do not have to earn God. God's grace is already there. Open yourself to receive it. Jap Ad Sach, Jugad Sach. After the Mool Mantar, there is a single word standing alone, Jap. It is a command, an imperative, and a call to action. Jap means meditate, recite, chant. Keep your attention focused on this truth. After giving us the complete description of God, one, true, creator, fearless, without enmity, timeless, unborn, self existent, known through grace, Guru Nanak says simply, now jap this, now live this, now focus on this. Jap is not mechanical repetition of syllables. The Sikh philosophy of jap is the process of identifying with truth, of keeping your mind, heart, and awareness tuned to the frequency of the divine. It is meditation as a way of being, not just a practice. Then comes a 4-line verse, the opening shlok. Ad Sach. In the primal beginning, God was true. Ad means the very origin, before time, before space, before creation. In that absolute beginning, when there was nothing, God was. The truth existed before all else. Jugad Sach. Throughout all the ages, God has been true. Jugad means throughout the ages, the infinite cycles of cosmic time, the yugas, the ages of creation. Through all of it, God has remained. Empires rose and fell, stars were born and died, mountains eroded into oceans, and through all of it, the one truth remained unchanged. Have He such? Right now, in this very moment, God is true. Have He means is also, is in the present. This is perhaps the most profound line. All religious traditions tend to speak of God in the past. God created the world, or in the future, God will judge us. Guru Nanak says, God is, right now. In this breath you are taken, in this moment, God is not distant or historical. God is present. Nanak hosi bhi sach, says Nanak. Forever and ever, God will be true. And into the future, to infinity, the truth will remain. This line carries Guru Nanak's own signature, the Nanak Jap. As is the tradition throughout the Guru Granth Sahib, the Guru signs his own name into the verse, testifying personally, I, Nanak, declare this to be true. These 4 lines, past, ages, present, future, map the entire dimension of time. And in all 4, the answer is the same, such, truth. God is the constant. Everything else changes. Every system, every ideology, every empire, they all change. But truth remains. And in that truth, we find the only real security. Dear listeners, let's bring this together. The Mool Mantar is 9 attributes wrapped in one unified declaration. Let us hear them one final time, slowly. Ik Onkar. There is one Creator present in all creation. Sat Naam. That Creator's very nature is truth. Karta Purakh. That creator actively creates and pervades everything. Nirbhau. That creator is beyond all fear. Nirvair. That creator holds no hatred toward any being. Akal Murad. That creator exists beyond time and death. Ajoni. That creator was never born and will never die. Saibhang. That creator is self-existent, needing nothing outside itself. Gur Prasad. And this creator is realized through grace and the kripa of Guru. What Guru Nanak has given us in the Mool Mantar is not just a prayer. It's a map of reality. It's a declaration that strips away every hierarchy of caste, creed, gender, wealth, and places all human beings before the same one truth. It is an invitation to live fearlessly, without hatred, in alignment with eternal truth, and to receive the grace that is always being offered. And then Guru Nanak says, Jap, meditate upon this. Let these 9 truths become not just words you recite, but the actual ground of your being. The entire Guru Granth Sahib, all 1430 pages, is in a sense the elaboration of these few words. The entire Japji Sahib that follows is the elaboration of the Mool Mantar, and the Mool Mantar is the elaboration of Ik Onkar, and Ik Onkar is the elaboration of the numeral 1. Everything comes from 1, everything returns to 1, and right now, in this very moment, it is 1. Aad Sach, Jugad Sach, है भी सच, नानक होसी भी सच. True in the beginning, true throughout the ages, true here and now, and forever true. वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह.